Today, we're going to talk about color schemes and how they can help make your art more interesting. So, what is a color scheme? A color scheme is a combination of colors used in a range of design disciplines from fine art to interior design to graphic design. Each color scheme consists of one or more of the 12 colors present on the color wheel. By pairing different colors with each other, you can create endless color palettes to use in any composition. Different color combinations evoke different moods or tones by using color theory and color psychology. The first color scheme I'm going to talk about is monochromatic color scheme. A monochromatic color scheme is one color in all of its tints and shades. Remember, a tint is when you add white to a color, a shade is when you add black. Monochromatic color schemes are simple and minimal. They can be selected to tap into a certain mood. A complementary color scheme is when two colors are directly across from each other on the color wheel. In this example, you see orange and blue. Complementary colors bring out the best in each other and create very dynamic images. They often make colors that are placed next to each other appear brighter. Analogous colors are colors that are close together on the color wheel. This gives more dimension than a monochromatic color scheme because you have a few more colors to choose from. It doesn't stand out quite as much as a complementary color scheme. A triadic color scheme are three colors equally spaced on the color wheel. This can be stimulating, but the colors don't always mesh well together. I'm a believer that color affects people's moods. This is a quote by Lily Pulitzer. Color psychology. Colors can make us feel a certain way. You have to make sure that you're thinking about how you want the viewer to perceive your artwork and what kind of mood you want to give off when you make art. Is this a happy piece of art? Try colors like yellow and orange. Is this a subtle or melancholy piece of art? Try darker colors like blues and grays. You're going to complete two activities today. The first is a color matching game. You're going to visit www.color.method.ac and play the game. You'll be taken to a screen that has a color wheel in the center. You're going to complete the game by matching the colors that the center of the color wheel is showing to you. Feel free to play the game as many times as you'd like. Submit your best score to the shared Google Doc that I'll post in Google Classroom. You can take this quiz as many times as you want to try to get the highest score you can. Hopefully you can beat my score of 3.3. Your second activity is to color in a mandala with a chosen color scheme. You can visit www.colormandala.com for a digital option of this activity. You will select a pre-made mandala, choose a color scheme, and then use the paint tool to color in the mandala with your chosen color scheme. You're going to download this mandala and submit your mandala to the shared slides document by pasting it into a blank slide. As an alternative, you will be able to print and color a mandala with art supplies you have at home. So we talked about color schemes earlier. You're going to go ahead and pick one of those color schemes and color in your mandala of choice. So when you go to colormandala.com, you should select color, and then you can choose the mandala that you want to color in. I'm going to choose, let's show you guys this one. So that opens up the mandala. Then I'm going to go ahead and use the color palette to choose my colors. Now, let's say I chose an analogous color scheme. So that would mean that I'm choosing colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So maybe I choose different shades of green. So I'm going to select my shade of green, and I'm actually going to turn my cursor count down to 3 here. And I'm going to just use that to start coloring in my mandala. You can see I'm choosing different shades of that light or different shades of that green to represent the analogous color scheme. If there's a color on here that I want that I don't see, I can click the custom tab. And then if you go ahead and click, it brings up this color picker. And I can go ahead and choose, maybe I want a darker green. So I'm going to click the dark green, and then I can go ahead and click that dark green, and I can start filling in more of my colors. You're going to finish this whole thing, and then you're going to click Actions, and you're going to download this as JPEG. Your other option for this project is to print a mandala of your own and color it with art supplies you might have at home. So if I search Google Images for free mandala coloring pages and I click Images, I'll be able to find a whole bunch of mandalas that I could potentially use for the project. Remember, a mandala kind of radiates from the center, so something like this is not technically a mandala. I prefer you to not choose that one. Something like this is going to be better suited for the project. So you can copy and paste this into a Word document, and you can print that out on your home printer if you have access to one. And then you can use colored pencils, crayons, markers, watercolor paints, kind of whatever you want to use to color in that mandala using the same requirements. So you would still need to choose a color scheme, and you would need to use that color scheme to color in the picture. Here are some tips to make sure you're successful with today's activities. For the color matching game, if you're not sure how to take a screenshot on your Chromebook, you're going to want to Google that. You're going to need to paste that screenshot into the shared Google document that I'll post on Google Classroom. For the mandala activity, if you're choosing the digital option, make sure to download that mandala that you've finished and attach it into the shared Google document that I will share in Google Classroom. If you chose the coloring book option, where you printed out a picture of a mandala and colored it in with your own art supplies, make sure you take a high quality photograph of that mandala to turn in. You should position your phone so it's parallel to your artwork, and you should crop your picture and use the best lighting that you can.